And CBS News national correspondent Chip Reid joins us now from Mesa, Arizona. Chip, on Thursday, the president threatened to use military aid to shut down the U.S.-Mexico border as a caravan of 3,000 migrants are heading north seeking asylum. So how is this message expected to play in the state of Arizona? And can the president actually do that?
Well, to answer the second question first, probably not. There is a federal law that says that the military cannot be used for law enforcement purposes within the United States. Now, the National Guard can, but the active military branches cannot. There may be a way to get a waiver from Congress, but it would be very difficult to do that. It is something that is certainly frowned upon by both parties in this country. And as to what effect it would have politically, I think the people in this room would love to hear about it. I'm sure when he talks about it tonight, they will give it a big cheer. But it's basically a political issue right now. And the Democrats will say it's ridiculous, it can't be done, so why are you even saying that? But he will say it because his base will love it.
Now, the president is there in Mesa, Arizona, on the second stop of his three-state tour, where he's hoping to drum up Republican support for Representative Martha McSally. How much of an influence is the president expected to play in the race for retiring Senator Jeff Flake's seat this November?
Well, good question. If I had a crystal ball, I'd have a better answer. But basically, we are at the point now where they're not trying to convince people to change their minds about who to vote for. Pretty much everybody has decided. The question is whether they're going to vote. The people in this room are probably going to vote because they are the base. They're fired up. I've been talking to some of them. They are fired up. They will be voting. But the president is doing these rallies to try to get people who see these rallies on TV, people who talk to their friends and colleagues and co-workers who go to these rallies, and they want these people to encourage them to get out and vote. So if this succeeds in increasing the turnout for Republicans here in Arizona, it certainly could make a difference.
So that's really the focus now is turnout, I guess. You know, Thursday night, President Trump made headlines at a rally in Montana after he praised Republican Representative Greg Gianforte for body slamming a reporter. You'll remember that incident. Let's listen to what the president said about it.
Any guy that can do a body slam, he's my kind. And we endorsed Greg very early, but I had heard that he body slammed a reporter. And he was way up. And he was way up. And I said, oh, this was like the day of the election or just before. And I said, oh, this is terrible. He's going to lose the election. Then I said, well, wait a minute. I know Montana pretty well. I think it might help him. And it did.
So, you know, this comes on the heels of former Attorney General and prominent Democratic voice Eric Holder saying when they go low, we kick them earlier this week. How is this more aggressive rhetoric from both parties expected to play in the crucial swing states?
Well, first I should say that although Eric Holder did say that, a lot of Democrats criticized him and said they agree with Michelle Obama that when they go low, we go high. We take the high road. But certainly there is a more aggressive tone, physical tone out there, especially with the president. And I tell you, there were a lot of people who thought during the campaign when he used to encourage people in the crowd to beat up people who were protesting in the crowd. There were a lot of people who thought that would make a difference. I don't think it did, and I don't think this will either. And I think, if anything, his crowds find it amusing that somebody would beat up a reporter. I don't think they really think that anybody in this crowd is going to come beat up reporters. There are some of us in the press who have security here just in case, but I think it's pretty unlikely that somebody in this crowd is going to be inspired by what the president said to beat somebody up. But is it unseemly? Pretty good argument that it is. Yeah.
So you're saying it's more of a theatricality than an actual threat. So you, as a member of the press,
that's right. Exactly.
You don't feel physically threatened when you're there.
I don't. I never have at one of these rallies. I've never felt threatened. You'll get people turn around sometimes and point at you and say fake news, fake news, fake news. But most of the people who I've talked to at these rallies during the campaign and since then, I tell you, they kind of shrug and they look at you. A lot of them kind of feel sorry for us because he'll point at the stage here, and he'll say, fake news, those are the enemies of the people. And he's mostly pointing at cameramen and camerawomen and sound people, because the reporters are down there at their computers where they can't really be seen. They're just doing their jobs, and to call them the enemy of the people is really grossly unfair.
Hardworking Americans, every last one. All right, Chip Reid, thank you.